Hello everybody, my name is Varian, and welcome to the first episode of Fundamentals of Redstone, where I'm going to teach you everything I know about Redstone and everything I learned about Redstone. I'm probably going to learn some stuff here, so hopefully I can show you. So what we're going to be going over today is we're going to be going over some of the very basic stuff of Redstone, as well as I'm going to throw in a couple advanced tips that I have learned over the time of Redstone. So we're going to be covering redstone dust, the redstone torch, button, the lever, and the pressure plates. So let's go ahead and make a little podium thingy. Let's put down our redstone ore. Now this is your redstone ore and kind of like a wire. All it is it's going to be carrying currents of, I guess you would call it electricity, to and from other places, giving them power and making them do certain things. Alright? So that we're going to be using lots of this stuff throughout this series. Next we have the torch. The torch always remains on, and this might be a little bit confusing to you when I say this. It seems to me that the redstone torch is always in the opposite state of what its input is. Now, if you don't know what input and output is, input is something, we'll just try to keep it simple. Input is a current going into something, hence the part in. And the output is a current going out of whatever it is. Okay? And the input always comes from the bottom of the torch, such as it's this block right here. So if I were to bring in a redstone wire coming into the side, not going to work. It's got to come in from the bottom. I'll explain that in a couple minutes. Next, we have the button and the lever. Now, the thing with the button and the lever, they go on the wall. However, a lever can go on the floor. Alright? Now, what they do is the button will send a pulse of electricity. You right-click it, and it'll stay on for about a second, and it'll be done sending its current through the redstone wire. Then we have the lever. It has two states, on and off. On is always down for whatever reason. Off is up. Just kind of think of it as a light switch. That's probably the best way to remember it. When it's in the on position, it'll always send a current to the redstone wire, and I'll show that eventually. And then lastly, what we're going to go over today are the pressure plates. There's wood and then there's stone. They both have the same property. Where you stand on them, it will send a current for as long as you're standing on it, and when you get off, it'll stop sending a current. Stone pressure plate, exact same thing. The only difference is that when I put an item on the wooden pressure plate, it activates. When I put an item on the stone pressure plate, nothing happens. So only the wooden pressure plate can be activated by having an item dropped onto it. Alright, so now that we've seen those, let's hook them up to a redstone lamp. And all a redstone lamp is just a light source when it is powered. Alright? So, what we're going to do is put our redstone lamp here, put our wire here, and then like I said, with a redstone torch, it is always on by default. So it powers this redstone wire going to the redstone lamp, and it turns the lamp on. If we take away the torch, it deactivates the lamp. Alright? So let's go ahead and turn that on. Put another lamp down. Alright, and now we're going to show the button, but I have to put it on a side. So when I click the button, it turns on for a second, turns off. It sends a pulse of current to the redstone wire, which travels along and hits the lamp, turning it on. Like so. Next we have the lever, which I can either put on the wall like this, and do it like that. I'm just going to put it right here. It works either way just as well. And as long as it remains in the on position, it will be sending current to the redstone lamp through the redstone wire. And you can toggle it however you want. Let's just leave it on. Next, we have the pressure plates. And let's do it like this. We have the wooden one and the stone one. Right? And like I said, when you step on them, it sends the current to the lamp. When you step off, it stops the current, the lamp goes off. On and off. Like I said, when I put a item on it, the item is on the pressure plate, so it is turning the lamp on. With the stone one, not the case. It does not do that. Alright? So now that we've seen how these work, let's look at some properties of redstone dust, as well as the redstone torch. I'm just going to call it redstone. I'm not going to call it redstone dust anymore. Alright, so when I was saying earlier that the redstone torch's output is the opposite of its input, okay? You remember that? So right now it is in the on position. So let's go ahead and set up a case to where its input would be different. Alright. We can place redstone torches on the side just like we could the levers, which is handy. And then we're going to put some redstone going into this block, as you can see. And then I'm going to put down a lever. Now I'm going to make the input to this redstone torch to be make it have an input. So when I turn in the input to on, its output is no longer a current. Which is kind of weird, I know. But that's just the way the redstone torch is. That's how it's always been. And it's very handy when you're working on certain things. When you're building some pretty big stuff, or such as like a piston door, which we will get into later. So that's kind of what it is. So if it has an input going into it, it's going to turn it on. Then we can kind of do this. And then when it has no input, the output is on. Alright? So that is one thing you need to know. It works if you put it on top as well. See? Torch goes away. Now, the thing you need to know about redstone, it is very, very weird. It acts in very weird ways. And I will demonstrate that for you now by demonstrating what is called weak and strong power. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up a little doodad. Alright, so what we have here is your basic redstone lamp with an iron block in the center. I'm going to be powering this redstone, or not redstone, this iron block directly. So if we do this, alright, as you can see, the wire is going directly into the block. Now this is a very weird property of redstone. It will only power something it is going into. So if you look at it, the wire looks like it is going into this block. So it is going to be powering, or it's going to have strong power towards this block. It is also going towards this block. So this block and this block are going to have a strong power. So when I turn it on, it looks like this. Now it is not powering the ones on the corners, because I said the redstone is giving power to the iron block. The iron block is what we has strong power. That means it is being directly powered. Now the ones on the side are getting weak power. They are touching the sides of the strong power block, which is going to power them. But if we place another one on the side, it will not be powered off the weak power. Only weak power or strong powered can power things to its sides and tops. Anything that has a flat surface. Now we're going to take the same thing, and I'm going to show you something a little weird. Alright, it looks to be the exact same setup, right? We have our redstone all the way up on here, which is where we had it with our previous example, right? Alright, so let's flick it on. What the? only this one's being powered. Now why is it doing that? Well, the reason is, as you can see, when I change it, look at where the input, the end of the wire, look at where that is. Right now it is going into this block. Now it is going into this block. That's one thing you really need to watch what you do with your redstone, is make sure you look where your redstone wire is going into the block. As you can see, in this case, it is going into this block as well. Just ignore the redstone on the top and on the side, okay? As you can see, there's a little bit, looks like it going into here. So this block is getting strong power. So this is getting weak power. When I break it, it changes, so it is a straight line going directly into this block itself. So this block has strong power, and then the ones on the side have weak power. Alright, and then if I were to put one over here, it would light up. Put one in front, it would light up. If I were to put one underneath it, it would light up as well. That's one of the weird properties of redstone, and I just recently figured that out, and I thought it was kind of strange, and it's something you guys should know about. So, again, I'm only going to be powering this block because the wire is going directly into here. If I put it up here, it's going to light them all up. Alright, so now that we've seen some of the crazy features of redstone, let's take a look at what we can do with what all we've learned using the inverter, using some of these, not necessarily all of them. And let's see, I haven't been planning for this. Okay, actually, I guess something I can tell you is redstone also has another little feature. Redstone will only travel 15 spaces. So, alright, so let's get over here in the light. I'll just put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Alright, that's 15 spaces. I will put a redstone block down right here. Gives it power, right? As you look at the trail of redstone, it is gradually getting lighter until eventually it's not being lit, as you can see right there. And I put a block down, nothing happens. Well, this can be a problem. If you want to make a red wire, or not a red wire, a long wire, dang it. If you want to make a long wire go into something, you're going to have to find a way to keep that current going. So, there's ways you can do that. As we saw, we could change the state of that, right? Why don't we just build that right there? So, it is on, and then we can continue the wire, like so. Oh, but wait. When we give power to this, it's going to shut this off. Well, there's also a way around that. If you don't want it to be inverted, you can build what's called, I forget what it's called. I want to say it's a not gate. I will cover gates in the future. They're very complex. Alright, so as we see here, we have redstone wiring going to here. Alright, since there's no input to it, this torch is on, and it is powering this redstone, which is turning this torch off. Okay? So when I flip this switch, it should invert everything. It comes along here. Input to this turns off, or it has an input, so it turns off, which does not power this redstone wire, which leaves nothing powering, or no input into this wire, powering this into the redstone lamp. So that's pretty cool. Now, if you can probably tell, it's got a little bit of a delay. It actually has a 0.2 of a second of a delay, because every time you invert the redstone wire, which is what this is doing here, it will add 1/10 of a second delay. Alright, so hopefully I didn't confuse you guys too much. I'm trying to do some basic stuff and some more advanced stuff in every single episode. That way it feels like everyone kind kind of learned something, because there's people that can build some pretty crazy stuff with redstone. So I hope you guys learned some stuff. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know in the comments below, and I will try to address everyone that I can. And until the next video, guys, we'll figure out something cool and crazy to do, and I'll see you later.